Yo, what's good guys? If you've already seen the review on the XB22, then go ahead, watch this video. If you haven't, go click on that review because I'm going to be telling you a few things about this that you might want to know in depth in the review, because I'm going to be comparing these speakers here, the XB41, XB22, the JBL Flip 4, and the smallest of the group, the Clip 3. So I'll link my review on all of these speakers actually in the description box below, so you can watch the full reviews. If you want to know more about these speakers, definitely watch them, and then you can come back to this video. So I've given you your spoiler alerts. If you've already watched the review, keep on watching. So let's determine price. So the big daddy of the group, the XB41, is the most expensive, running you $270, but it's on sale today only and tomorrow only for $160 at clearance. The XB22 is going to run you $111, but normally it would run you $150. Also, I'd like to note that the XB22 is the newest here, and the Flip 4 is the oldest here. And this is going to run you about $75 in Officeworks on special, but normally it would run you about $100. The smallest of the group, the Clip 3, the little Clip 3, is going to run you $70, but on special now for $59. It's the littlest of the group, and it's the cheapest of the group. So let's talk about features. So both the XB41 and XB22 have light features. The XB41 is definitely more impressive than the XB22, the little guy, but they still are pretty bright and they show up well in a brightly lit area like my room here. So as you can see them fine. The XB41 has an RGB setup. The XB41 has two little white lights here. Okay, let's determine weight and looks. Obviously, the XB41 is going to be the heaviest. It's very heavy to hold. Sony says you have a built-in grip, but this mesh can get a little slippery. Unless your hands are quite sweaty, you can hold on to this. So it's quite hot where I am, so I'm fine. With the little XB22 and the JBL Flip 4, they both have a similar shape to them. The XB22 is a little bit taller and a little bit wider, just the teensiest little bit, but the Flip 4 does weigh a teensy little bit heavier. But I think the XB22 feels a little bit better. You can palm it easier. With the Flip 4, you can't palm it as easy. So I like both of these speakers in the $100 to $200 department. But let's talk more. So the weight on this guy is around 600 grams. The weight on this one is about 1.5 kilos. And the weight on the Flip 4 is also about 600 grams. So both of these speakers weigh similar. But the little Clip 3 is the lightest of the group, weighing in at only 200 grams. And as you notice, I have a reflector on a couple of Hot Wheels cars. Just for the look, I'm not going to be going in depth about these at all. We're just going to focus on these speakers. Alright, so let's talk about features. How many features do these speakers have? Well, the Clip 3 is probably best for hiking because it has this little clip. You clip it onto your bag, it's really small, you can drop it, it's fine. With the XB41, despite its better durability on the Clip 3, it's really heavy and there's no straps for you to hang it on to something or to clip something on like the Extreme 2. The XB22, I would say, is the most durable because it's salt waterproof, like the Sony. Everything the Sony XB41 has, this has as well, but it's smaller size. You can easily just chuck this in your bag or even hold it. Whether with the XB41, you're going to need a backpack after carrying this for a while. It's easy to carry this, you don't need to swap for one hand, like I can pick this up with 2 fingers and it's fine. But after a while, it's just going to get a little bit annoying. So just chuck it in your bag, you're good to go. You're not going to notice it. Or just chuck it in your trolley, no exposed radiators. let's talk about the Flip 4. So I like this Flip 4. I've had it for about a year now. Actually, exactly a year. A year and 1 day. I got this for Christmas last year. So yeah, a year and 1 day. This has excellent bass. I was surprised how much bass can come out of these two radiators right here. It's excellent. There's no extra bass mode, but you don't need one. When it already has a nice amount of bass, it's good. And ever since JBL released this Flip 4 and the Pulse 3, they wanted to balance out the sound a little bit. Before, when the Extreme came out, it was more treble focused. But now it's more neutral, but I still notice there's quite a lot of treble. Same with the Clip 3. JBL is mostly focusing on treble. Even though they say it is neutral sound, I still think the Clip 3 has more treble than bass. And the mids are pretty good on both of these speakers, but I still think the bass should be increased just a little bit, and the treble should just be reduced. However, on these two Sony speakers, it's in the name, extra bass. Even without extra bass mode, these speakers still put an emphasis on the bass, the low end. Especially the XB41. In wireless party chain, the Sony will play mostly at highs, and the Sony XB41, the Big Daddy, will act as a sub. So the bass can get spread around the room. It's just so nice and clean to listen to. With the JBL Flip 4, it's nice, but I just wish the Clip 3 had Connect Plus, because that would just be an epic plus. Anyway, more about features. So the battery life on all of these speakers is very different. The biggest battery life here is the Sony XB41, claiming to be 24 hours, but with my testing, I have 20 hours. That's playing at 50% volume, with the light feature turned on. Extra bass is also on. I always have extra bass on, never turn it off. I just like extra bass. Now, with this guy, the battery life on this guy is 12 hours, same as the Flip 4, but it's not, because in my testing, I get 14 hours from the Flip 4 and about 10 hours from this guy. Haha, you believe that? Yeah, I'm joking. I haven't actually done any tests on these battery life, but I've gone from other people's testings and live testings as well, because they're good, and that's about accurate. So Sony isn't quite accurate with their battery life, but JBL is the overachiever in this group. The Clip 3, I have tested this one, and it gets about 8 hours on 50% volume, but since it's such a small speaker with only one transducer, you're going to want it at higher volumes, and that's exactly what I do. I usually play it at about 80% volume, that's nice and comfortable. 100% is pushing it a little bit, but with 80% volume, I think I got about, I can't remember now, I think it's about 6.5 hours. I got that anyway. I don't know about you, but I got 6.5 hours with the Clip 3. Don't know about all these other speakers in my testings, but I'm just going with people's other testings. So, more about features. The XB41 and the XB22 both have IP67 ratings, and they both have salt waterproof. But they also both have party booster. Yep, I know. Don't judge, but I actually use this. Not joking. It's on both speakers. As you can see, customize them to you. You can customize them, you can do whatever. You just have to slap the back 2 times and it will turn on and off. It didn't turn off. There you go. There you go. Sweet. Alright, so only 2 of these speakers have light features, obviously. The XB41 is really impressive because of the RGB strip around the entire speaker, wrapping around the sides. There's also speaker lights and strobe lights. The XB22 is nice. It's just some white lights, and they spread across the entire speaker. But it's really nice and bright. You can definitely see these even in a brightly lit area. Sorry, I can't even talk today. The Flip 4 doesn't have a light feature, but it doesn't need to. You know why? It doesn't need to. You get the sound. Speaking about sound, let's get onto this. Not going to be doing a sound test. I'll do an outdoor sound test with all of these speakers in the next coming days, maybe even a week. But I am a bit busy right now, so don't expect it in and out in a second. One thing I want to talk about though, just one thing, ports. All of these speakers charge differently. The XB41 charges with an AC output or AC input, sorry, or you can charge it with a micro USB cable, but you have to have a wall plug that supplies 5 volts. The XB22 and Flip 4 and Clip 3 all charge with micro USB and don't need a fancy wall charger to charge like the XB41. Now you do get a supplied power cable with the XB41, obviously, but just like all of the speakers, all of these speakers on the table right now, they all have an audio in. But the Flip 4's flap, the Flip 4 flap is a little bit harder to close. And the Clip 3, same setup. Micro USB and aux. Buttons. On the top of the XB41, you have play, pause, skip and reverse tracks. You have reverse tracks as well. Same with the XB22. You have volume up and down. This also activates your extra bass. And here you have your Bluetooth connection button and your live sound mode and Bluetooth pairing and on and off. And here's your NFC tag. On the XB22, same button layout, exact same button layout, except you don't have that little Bluetooth pairing bit. It's kind of up here a little bit. So yeah, there's not really much missing out of each speaker. Yeah, not really that much with the buttons. But you do have 3 extra buttons behind the flaps. Same on these 2 speakers here. The WPC for wireless party chain, which I use all the time with these speakers. The add button, which I can't get to work yet. And the battery level and lights off. Works super good. Here's your NFC target on the top of the XB22. The Flip 4 is a little different because it has a Bluetooth pairing button next to the main controls. You got play, pause, skip track, so you can't go back a track though, which kind of sucks. It really sucks. Volume up and down, Bluetooth pairing button, and you also have
390.
Your little secret to tell you the firmware update. It's not really a secret anymore because it's all the whole wood. You got your Connect Plus. Now, this is what I really like about my Flip 4. Connect Plus. If you have another JBL speaker with Connect Plus or even Connect, you could just press one button on either of your speaker. If the Clip 3 had it, you just press it and you just wait a couple seconds, boom, they're connected. You don't need to mess around with any other apps. With the Sonys, you do have to go into the Music Center app, confirm it a couple of times. It's a little bit difficult, especially if you're on a rush. But with the JBL, press the button and you're good to go. With the Clip 3, you got the same controls as the Flip 4, except you don't have a Connect Plus button. You do have the little rubber on the bottom to keep it in place. So yeah, let's talk about sound quality. So all of these speakers sound different, obviously, but the XB22 and the Flip 4 is a very close call. I think the Flip 4 sounds a little clearer. In wireless party chain with the Sonys, it does get rid of Clear Audio Plus, I'm pretty sure anyway, because there's a little crackle in it. I don't know if that's just the wireless party chain. It says Clear Audio Plus is still on, but I'm not too sure about that. So let's talk about speaker setups. All of these are pretty much the same except for the Clip 3. On the XB22, you got 2 transducers on here. You got a bass radiator on the front and back. You can see the back one moving. On the XB41, you have 2 2.28 inch diameter transducers, sorry about that, and bass radiators on the front and back. On the Flip 4, you have your radiators and your 2 1.5 inch transducers on the front. 2 of them. On the Clip 3 though, you only have 1 1.5 inch transducer. But you do get a pretty big bass radiator that's not really that strong. Alright, I'm just going to give you a close-up on all the designs and I'll talk about the build materials. Okay, starting off with the XB41. You have a fabric mesh covered body all around the speaker except for on the flap, on the top and on the bottom. On the bottom you have this plastic, 2 rubber feet. On the back you have your little flap, it's made out of the same material as the little feet. On the top you have the rubber that coats the buttons, and on the front you have that same mesh that goes all the way around with a plastic rubberized RGB strip. On the XB22, however, you do have a soft touch body, which can easily get scratched. I don't care, it's a portable Bluetooth speaker. You take it on the go with you. If it gets scratched, it gets scratched. It's meant to. It's supposed to survive this, and it sure will. Don't worry. Now, dirt can easily get into this grill, but it is IP67, so you can still trust it. But on the front, instead of the XB20's metal grill, you do have a nice fabric mesh body with double woven material, so it's definitely quite tough on the front. So it can stand up to a lot of bumps and scrapes, quite a lot. The light feature is interesting though. I like to talk about that. The light feature is this plastic material that goes into like a Y shape around the side of the speaker. You kind of get confused where the front is after a while. Looking at it like that, you kind of get confused. But yeah, same materials. On the bottom you have 2 very large rubber feet. And that's pretty much it. You have your Sony branding up top. And yeah, that's pretty much it. On the Flip 4, same deal, except there's more of this fabric mesh, different kind of fabric mesh. It's like a nylon weave that only JBL uses. You got like metal JBL grill, you got your plastic buttons, and then you got this silicone material, not as easy to scratch. Look at this speaker. Do you see any scratches on it? Yeah, I didn't think so. I've owned this for a year, I've taken it everywhere with me. It stood up to bumps and scrapes nicely, except for the radiators. So that's why I'm going to use this speaker as mainly an at-home speaker right now, just to play the radio. The Clip 3, I'd say is quite durable as well. It has that same fabric mesh body. You got a metal ring around it that's also supplying the carabiner clip. You got this really nice gel on the back. Don't know where the studs went. There was studs on here, but I think I did the water test and they came off. Lol. And around here, you got some silicone material, same on the Flip 4. Alright, anything that I'm missing? I don't know. Well, these 2 speakers have LDAC support, the LDAC codec, but on the JBL, you don't get that. You don't get any codecs, you don't get any SBC, nothing. No AAC on anything, nope. Think I'm talking a bunch of gibberish, that's fine. The codecs, let me just explain this in one little piece. The Sony speakers here don't have latency when you're watching on an Android device. If you're watching on an Apple device, Apple doesn't support LDAC because, you know, Apple, they take a few years to update their technology, you know, more like 5 years actually. I'm going to get dislikes for that, but dislike all you want. LDAC support, Android 8.0, if you have an Android 8.0 device, then you should be good for 0 latency, Netflix, YouTube, PUBG, whatever. 0 latency at all. But with the Flip 4 and the Clip 3, they don't have any codec support or LDAC support or anything. They don't have any type of codec. But that's okay because I don't experience much latency on this. It's okay, but sometimes when I'm listening on an audio cable, I can definitely tell the difference. No, but I mostly just watch YouTube. On the little Clip 3, same thing as the Flip 4. I don't notice much latency, but when I listen to the both Sony speakers, I can definitely tell the difference. Alright, pricings. 250. Sorry, 270. Got that wrong. But you can get it for 160. This, 111. This, 57. And this, 99. Or 75 on special right now. Alright, which is the best value speaker here? Well, If you're gonna run over your speaker with a dump truck, I suggest getting either one of these. But if you just want a palmable, nice, everyday speaker, Sony XB22 is for you. But if you want even more monstrous sound, a big step-up upgrade, and some nice RGB lights, Sony XB41 is for you. It has nice, big bass. The Flip 4. This is a nice at-home speaker. If you're at home quite a lot, you like listening to the radio, you can plug this into a radio, you can plug this into your phone's radio, play the music straight from there. It's perfect, it's going to fill up a large room. The Clip 3, I suggest it's probably the most portable here. Because it's so small and light, and because you have that carrying clip, just clip it onto your bag, belt loop, anything really that has a carabiner that supports this size. Clip it onto there, you're good to go. It's snowproof and it's waterproof. So you're good for that. But if you want some speakers that will fit in your bike water bottle holder, these two speakers are going to fit. Well guys, I'm sorry my phone shut off at 2% because it stopped recording, but luckily it saved. Anyway, yep. These two speakers are going to fit in your bike bottle holder. The XB41, however, does not, definitely does not. And there's no straps for you to hang it over your handlebars. The Clip 3 can go on your bike's handlebars maybe, but if you have a drink bottle loop, just loop it around there, just to be on the safe side, because it might not fit. Okay, what else? I'm pretty sure we've talked about everything. This is a long video, very long video. I managed to plug in my phone while it's in the tripod. So yeah, which is the best speaker to buy? Right, I reckon since the XB22 came out, I reckon this one is going to be your best go. But if the XB22, 21 or 20 didn't exist, the Flip 4 is your guy, definitely. Especially if you're going to be using it at home. If you want that really big sound, you're not going to be disappointed, get the XB41. But if portability isn't your thing, this video is about portability, get the XB60, the older XB60. You can get it for the same price as the XB41 if portability isn't your thing, but loudness is. Now the loudest speaker, the Sony, the XB41. So there's two Sonys and two JBLs. Best, loudest sound, Sony. Best bass, XB41. Yeah, loudest sound, XB41. Best bass, XB41. You get what I mean? Loudest sound outdoors, XB41. But best portability, nah. I suggest either of these two speakers for portability. Now this speaker is good because it has a lot of protection behind it. Drop proof, waterproof, dust proof, saltwater resistant. And I really like it. I really like the lights as well. They give it a nice effect, nice musical, it makes a musical instrument, it makes a decoration. But most importantly, it makes a really good portable Bluetooth speaker. If you actually made it this far, I'm guessing you enjoyed the video. You obviously haven't watched all of this, but if you have, congratulations. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit bell for next video. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys. Actually, how am I going to get all these speakers to say goodbye? I don't know, but anyway, peace out, guys.